The uprising and the influence of Gen Z during this end times, new earth, new age that we are recalibrating at this time, as bumpy of a ride as it is not only intentional, but it is prophecy. Gen Z bringing these things in physically, in physical form, rebelling, is very much prophecy and is very much intentional, in the sense that, of course, millennials and of course other generations have their own part to play in this rebellion, in this revolution, in bringing these new energies and making them concrete, as above so below, on earth as it is in heaven. We all have a part to play and we are all influential, but the Gen Z part that is being amplified at this time is very much what we have been talking about, if you have been following along, is the Alpha and Omega. What comes after Z? Z is the last, right? And we've been talking about the last shall be first and the first shall be last, right? So therein brings in Gen Z's part, but what comes after Gen Z is these new beginnings, is Alpha, the Alpha and Omega. So Alpha generation obviously is going to have their day in the sun as well. And we know this, and especially if you follow anything with human design, you know that 2027 is going to be a big year in terms of reincarnation and just in terms of how we adapt as a society and how we function. But neither here nor there. We are in the midst, we are in the end times, but in the beginning of new times, right? At the end of the day, because again, if you've been following along, then you know that the second coming is not as Christians claim it to be. It is bringing the kingdom of heaven that is within you on earth and bringing this consciousness and amplifying it amongst those who follow in Christ consciousness. But my main point is to, like I said, amplify Gen Z's part at this time, because if you're like following it chronologically, if you will, it's like we are the keys, we are the answers, we are the prophecy, we are everything that is coming to pass and that will ever be and that is currently taking place. But I just wanted to, one, lift them up at this time, because they are being so brave in ways that they were meant to, because again, their physical stamina at this time, their knees, as we know as millennials, we had it at one point, we still got it, of course, but it's like they are taking on the physical brunt. And not that no millennials are, and I'm not saying that no other generations are. Again, I'm just saying, like, as a whole, as like as a more concrete aspect, like that's what their part is the physical brute force labor, if you will, whereas millennials are a lot of times, again, and I'm generalizing, the healers and the spiritual leaders, and you know, each generation has their own part, and Alpha is going to be the one leading the way. Their generation is going to be the one leading the way at some point in time, and of course we're not there yet. We haven't crossed that bridge yet, but that is what is to come, and that is what has been prophesied from the beginning and the end, right? The Alpha and Omega, like I said. So I just want to, like I said, lift up Gen Z at this time for doing their part, doing it well, and for us to amplify our parts as well, whether it is physically protesting or calling your reps or whatever it is. You know what your part is, whether it's, like I said, you're a spiritual healer or you are just part of caring for others or supporting them during their trials and tribulations, whatever it is, whether it's donating, volunteering, whatever, you know what you are called to do at this time. But I just want to show gratitude and show respect where it needs to be showed at this point, because they are lighting the fire. Well, it's not that they've lit the fire. Of course, the fire has been lit for very long, but we are now passing on the torch in order for the destruction of the old to then be rebuilt, to be something new, to be something that is a masterpiece of our own creation and not of the Matrix making. So as scary and as unsettling as these end times are, I do want to just, I guess, add a add a sense of comfort in the sense that, yes, this is always the way it was going to go, as terrible as that is, of course, but it's like, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. But anyways, I know that this is a difficult time for so many people, and it's a very challenging time, but that is all the more reason why you need to stay uplifted in spirit and know that the battle has already been won. It's already been won, even in the midst of these valleys and the shadows of death that we go through at this time, literally, physically, and metaphorically, psychologically. The battle has already been won. We are victorious at the end of the day. They know that. That's why they are grasping at straws. And again, if you've been following along, you know we've been talking about this. So it's like the system is crumbling. It may not be in the way that we want it to be happening, but rarely do things happen the way that we think that they will or the way that we want them to. But at the end of the day, we have to trust and know that Mother Gaia and the heavenly realms know how to restore and how to bring us back into freedom and restoration. So I hope that this uplifts you during this time and reminds you to keep doing your part.